So, hello everyone. Welcome to my Survive and Thrive campaign that I'm doing. I now have a really interesting person on this hookup. His name is James Peters. He's from 180 Financial. And when we start talking about being under pressure and things you need to do to cope with what's going on with the COVID-19 virus and make some quick decisions, he is the person that is that has been put under the pump. So, hello, James. Do you want to introduce yourself and just tell us what's happened in the last 2 or 3 days in your business?
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm James Peters. We run a financial services arm specialising in commercial finance for cars and equipment. The last few days since this coronavirus has really kicked in and governments around the world have, stopped basically economies. We've got a lot of clients, from all sorts of fields, from the local fish and chip man up to large plumbing and, building companies basically calling us and freaking out about, payments, and not just on one car. Some do, but there's some with multiple loans, from 10 to 20 to 30 loans with us, that basically have these businesses that have been running for 15 years coming to a grinding halt with cash flow. We have gone from basically writing and selling finance to now assisting and helping our clients defer payments from anywhere from 3 to 6 months. The banks have been amazing about it. I think with some clients, it's not the call they wanted to make. I think egos step in the way sometimes, but as I said, and I have been saying to some clients who call me and think, I could get through it. I say, don't worry about the next 3 months. I said, do it now. Have that cash flow. It's not going to affect your credit rating. It's just basically going to extend the life of the loan, and what's 3 or 6 months in the scheme of things, if you do your car loan, your equipment loan, you're doing your home loan with your bank, and you're doing whatever other loans you might have, it's certainly going to ease the pressure and at least let you sort of focus on working on the business and, how you can keep it surviving for the next 3 or 6 months. I say to people, we're all in the same boat. There's no one special in this occasion. Even, you're seeing with the massive companies, Virgin, Qantas, these 100-year-old companies having to lay off 20, 30,000 staff. Like it's insane. It's like a bad dream. So that's been our sort of last few days, is just, fielding calls and helping our clients, and relieving some of the pain that I suppose they're incurring at the moment, and at least giving them the option to focus on something else in their business, rather than the cash flow.
And that's part of the survival plan, and I think that's some great tips there. And for you personally, James, you're an absolute awesome customer. I love working with you. We do some great things. And I know you've done some great things. We'll refer to you by your accountant, which is our accountant, which is MKS Group. You did a webinar last week on Friday. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. So, what are you putting in place to survive? Because, for those of people who think, they're under a bit of pressure, this wonderful man's wife actually works in London, and he had himself and his 2 beautiful daughters in Australia, and then very quickly you've jumped on a plane to try and congregate together. So you're actually working from London right now, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Beautiful. So this whole virus has caused us to bring forward some plans with what we were doing in our personal life, and my wife had got a big job in London a few months ago, and the plan was for us to sort of come in April for one daughter to stay, and I'd go back to Australia and have our second daughter come back later in middle of the year. It was just to sort of, I guess, spread that sort of whole moving pain of going overseas and having a massive transition. But this whole coronavirus caused us to quickly jump on a plane just Sunday gone. So Saturday we were still planning of coming this weekend, coming the 28th of March, but my wife could see and was hearing through the grapevine that Australia was going to close its borders, UK was doing the same, and all the other all the other countries around the world were doing the same thing. So we basically had to get an emergency passport for my daughter on the Sunday, which the Australian Passport Office opened for us because her visa or her passport was with the UK consulate. And Sunday night we were jumping on a plane, packed the bags, and yeah, here we are. And as you can see, what's happened, in the last few 24 hours or days, things keep changing massively. And one of those big things is Australia has shut its borders. So if we didn't get out when we did, there was going to be a massive, probably, I don't know, 3 to 4 month separation of my wife and myself and the kids, which would have just been absolutely shattering. So here I am. It's 11:30 at night in London.
And it's business as usual for you. It's business as usual.
Business as usual, yeah.
Right. You've got a great team back in Australia that are working for you, and you're working through the night and pretty much sleeping through the day, doing everything you possibly can to help your clients out.
And just the main thing was to have the family together, and so I'm here. The team at home is working from their homes, of course, with the whole lockdown. So it's business as usual. Phones are working, emails working, and obviously we can run a business, or hopefully you can run a business anywhere in the world, as long as you don't have to probably have customers coming in through your door. So we're in a lucky situation, but I guess sometimes you got to do what you have to do to get things done in your life.
So I think, James, you know what? That's part of the Thrive now. You are a global business, and you are absolutely what's the word I'm looking for? Showing other businesses that can be done anywhere in the world. You can run your business, which I absolutely applaud you for doing that. What would be one tip that you would give to a business owner right now going through these types of going through the pressure that we're all going through? What would be one tip you'd give?
I think the biggest tip I'd be giving to customers is just try and preserve your cash flow somehow. Defer those payments. Don't panic. I know there's probably a few tips. Don't panic. We're all in the same boat. We will get through it. I think at the moment it's shock and awe with clients. Our freedoms being stopped, and obviously that's causing massive pain around the world for businesses, running how they usually operate. So I guess try and turn some sort of positive out of this, that we will get through it. And if you can somehow get through the next 3 to 6 months, I think things will rebound. And if you're in a good position to then obviously, drive growth and get back to what you're doing best in your own business. So that's what I'd be offering.
Perfect. Lastly, how do people contact you if they need some help and stuff like that? How do they contact 180 Financial Services?
So they can still contact us on the office number that's been diverted to Sharon, our admin officer. Otherwise, they can call on the mobile numbers of myself and Sid. Or otherwise, the other option is email through to myself or Sid or Sharon or Ellie. And we can obviously assist in getting things done. We just ask for a bit of patience at the moment. The banks, we are crazy as well with inundating with calls, and obviously the banks are too. You can imagine, I'm only having a guess, but there's probably 15 million of us with debts in this country, and we're all calling the banks to divert, home loans, business loans, asset finance loans, your personal car loans, credit card payments. I mean, you name it, overdrafts. It's just the list is endless. So I think a bit of patience, and the banks are, as I say, the banks are being amazing from what we experiencing firsthand, and from what customers are also calling us back or emailing and saying, wow, that was amazing, it was easy. And that's one less thing we have to do.
So I want to say thanks, James. We'll put your details up, your website details and contact details up after this. And all the best for survival. And let's thrive on the other side when we all get through this. All right. So
thanks, Colin. All the best to everyone out there listening.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks, buddy. See ya.